Is a home inspection required? Is it a must? Well, the answer to that is no. Now let's assume a buyer makes an offer in a house, offer gets accepted, they open escrow. Now we have to ask ourselves, must the buyer have a home inspection, conduct a home inspection on their new property? And of course the answer is no, because it's a free country and they can do what they want. However, as a real estate agent, we highly recommend you, the agent, to advise your client that they should perform a home inspection, to hire a professional licensed home inspector to provide that service to their potential new home. That's huge. Why is a home inspection so important? Well, of course it's important because the buyer then gets to get all the information that the home inspector found in this property, everything, every nook and cranny. The home inspector goes into this house, checks just about everything that they can get their hands on, provides a written report, comes back to the buyer and say, hey buyer, here's your written report. These are my important items that I found, and I think you should consider these items before closing this transaction. Now this is the rule of the game. The rule of the game is this. The buyer has 17 days from opening escrow. Ready? 17 days. The buyer, we just opened escrow. The buyer has 17 days to use this home inspection advantage, this home inspection option. They have to decide, once doing the home inspection, if they want to continue on with the escrow or if they want to cancel due to the findings of the home inspection. Now, let's get some numbers here. I like to talk numbers for a minute. Now, per economist at the National Association of Realtors, listen to this. Per the economist at the National Association of Realtors, 1 in 20 deals blows up. 1 in 20 get canceled. They just blow up. For one reason or another, 1 in 20 transactions cancels. 1 in 4, for one reason or another, get delayed. And of those transactions that get canceled, listen to this. This is the good number here. Well, it's not good, but it's an interesting number. Of those transactions that do get canceled, 1/3 of those are due to the home inspection report, are due to the findings in the home inspection report. Now, what does that mean? It means that 33% of those transactions that are canceled, which is a lot, the reason for that was because of the home inspection findings. That the home inspector went through the house, put his data together, gave the data over to the buyer reviewed the data, and the buyer said, wait a minute, after reviewing this data, I don't think I want this house. Wow. But it also goes to show how important a home inspection is. Let's assume you were buying a house. Put yourself in the buyer's shoes. Let's assume you're buying a house, and the seller discloses all they know about the house to you. The seller on paper tells you, the buyer, as far as we're concerned, we have a leaky roof. We have everything they think is bad with the house. We have a cracked window. We have cracked tile in the bathroom, and our plumbing in the kitchen is leaking. And they give that to you, and you look at the disclosure and you say, well, that's not so bad. We'll still take the house. Now you get your inspection report. The inspection report is not right in front of you as a buyer, and now you review the inspection report. This inspector was hired by you, the buyer. You paid for it. You review the inspection report, and the inspection report also lists there the same things that the seller informed us of, plus more. The inspection report also puts here that it looks like the pool may be on its last leg, which means that the pool's gunite might be leaking soon. There's a very small crack, superficial, very small superficial crack in the pool, which might not be anything with a superficial crack. But yet when the buyer gets this information, the buyer just sees crack in the pool, the buyer freaks out. And what does the buyer typically do then? I don't want this house. That pool could be an expensive issue if I hold on to this house. Now this is why it seems that we have that 33% of canceled transactions are due to the home inspection report. Buyers receive information, aren't now comfortable with this new information, and choose to not risk buying this property because this report states there might be a small issue. And of course the buyer thinks that small issue can become a what? Yeah, you guessed it, a large issue. So are these home inspections important? Absolutely. As a realtor, should we encourage home buyers to get them? Absolutely. Why? Because although the seller discloses everything to us, the seller only discloses what they know. And ladies and gentlemen, when was the last time the seller went under the house where an inspector may find termites? When was the last time the seller, climbed on the roof and see that the roof tiles are cracked? When was the last time the seller did lots of items that the inspector can catch? So, lesson here, ladies and gentlemen, future realtors, and those who are doing real estate now. What's the first step you should do when your clients win their bid and get into an escrow and that house is going to be theirs in 30 to 45 days, what's the first thing you should do as a realtor? You guessed it. Advise them. Mr. Buyer, I love you and I want you to be protected and make sure you're buying a great product. If you have any questions or concerns, do us a favor, do yourself a favor, leave a comment or question down below here in our questions section down below. And don't forget to subscribe, Tell your friends about it.